What are your expectations for this upcoming game against the Cowboys? Who do you think is going to win and why?
I must say that the Niners should win that game because we are playing against the Cowboys. I don't care how. I don't care if we are going to win that game. Great, it's a great game. If we are going to play a good offense, I don't want to see fancy plays. I just want to see the 49ers beat the Cowboys, no matter how. And I'm pretty sure that we can do that. And it's just because the Cowboys are bad, just because who is the head coach of the Cowboys right now, and just because that Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback at the Cowboys. These are just making our game much, much easier, I think. And if Kyle Shanahan can't beat the Cowboys with Nick Mullins, then I will have some questions after the game or during the game. And I can ask really, really funny questions and not funny questions during the games.
Botond, they're not going to win. They're going to lose. They're going to lose. And they're going to lose even though they're going up against a terrible defense that's giving up 5 yards a carry, more than 5 yards a carry. They're going to lose even though they're going up against Andy Dalton. They're going to lose even though they're going to give up like 6 points on defense. They're going to find a way to lose this game. You know why? Because they don't know how to win. With Nick Mullins, I don't understand. They just do not know how to win right now. Maybe they knew how to win last year. I don't even think if they had Jimmy Garoppolo, they'd be winning. For whatever reason, this team in 2020 hasn't figured it out. And not only, I think the main reason they don't know how to win is because they don't know how to block. It's hard to win football games without blocking. The Niners have done it a few times this season, which is, I mean, they've won 5 games without really blocking, which is a record. But to win a 6th, I don't know. I think Aldon Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence are good enough. The inability to block at all is probably going to be the reason the Niners lose this game.
Well, before I argue with you, I must say that, guys, I hope you listened. Grant said that we will lose against the Cowboys. Every time he did that this season, we won.
That's right.
Just saying. So
that's true.
Be faithful. Well, I don't think that we will lose. Just because we are playing against the Cowboys, just because the Cowboys aren't so great, only on the pass rush side of the ball. I think if Kyle Shanahan wants to prove himself that he was right, he must have found out something against the Cowboys defense, the defensive line of the Cowboys. So I'm pretty sure that we can win the game by just passing and with plenty of round game. And what I missed the most in the past few games that we haven't run the ball as frequently. Yeah. So I think that we will win.
Okay. Fair enough. You're just more positive than I am. Last question from Horatio, who's asked us about 8,000 times, and it's a good question. I appreciate him putting it in there. Do you see the Niners having a bounce back season next year? I'll go first. I'm not certain that they will. It seems to me that there is about a 50% chance or better that they're going to be starting a rookie quarterback next year. So that kind of lowers the expectations. All of a sudden, if they go 8-8 with the rookie quarterback, you're looking at it and being like, maybe that's a successful year. I mean, it buys them time. If they start a rookie, you don't necessarily expect 11, 12 wins.
Well, I don't mind that we can bounce back next year. We talked about it. We have horror when we are just looking at the cap space, when we are looking at the needs of this team right now. We knew that we would draft a QB, and it will be a high pick on the draft. I must say that. So next year is going to be a rebuild year for this team, for a small rebuild, and that's why I cannot say that. I'm not sure that we can be positive after that season, after next season. I think that we will be about 7-9 or 6-10.
Here's something. If Deebo Samuel can keep his hamstring intact and George Kittle can play 16 games, they should have as good of a skill position group as any team in the league, maybe other than Kansas City.
Yep.
And if they can have a quarterback who can come in and play right away, like Kyle Trask, I don't know, maybe he's going to just be terrible today against Alabama. I'm curious to see that. But if they can get someone who can like play right away and distribute the ball to these playmakers, if they can block, I mean, they have a chance to have a special offense if they can just get a starting caliber quarterback who can play right away and give them some protection, because the weapons are terrific if healthy.
Well, actually, what I think of is that I don't mind that we can get a quarterback who can start from the first game next season and who can be a great NFL quarterback, or at least good NFL quarterback next year from the start of the year. I mentioned that before for the Hungarian 49ers fans, that although I'm a big fan of Kyle Trask from the Florida, I must say that I don't think that he can be an instant great starter for the 49ers next year. And if you are not Trevor Lawrence, then you can't be an instant starter for the league next year. So sadly, I cannot say that we can be even a positive team next year just by stats.
You're probably right. Keldon says, I've considered 2020 a preseason since week 2. It will benefit us in 2021. Yeah, I mean, you could sort of take the that was the mindset of 2018. Garoppolo goes down week 3. An extended preseason, basically, where you evaluate players you wouldn't be necessarily watching, and then you get a better draft pick than you should, and then you have this, you bounce back in the next. So we'll see if they can do that. Maitland Eagle says Niners keep finding ways to beat themselves, let alone their opponents, reflective of Kyle Shanahan, poor head coaching. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to beat Dallas because they beat themselves. They're experts at beating themselves. And you could point to the quarterback, or you could point to the offensive line or the head coach. It doesn't matter. It's a team, and they specialize at beating themselves. It ultimately falls on the head coach's shoulders. Yeah, they're going to beat themselves. I think it's a really good point. What do you think of that? Beating themselves.
That's fair. I think that's what we are doing on the offensive side of the ball every time when we are playing American football this year. That said, the only matches when we did that I cannot find a good word that's worth mention, and that is not something vulgar or something like that, but we did all those bad things on those matches on the offensive side of the ball. But what I think of is when we played against great offensive coordinators like Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan was at his best.
Yes.
So
yes.
Maybe it's just like he gave up this season at the start of the season when we lost a lot of players. I don't know, but that's for sure that we are beating ourselves.